So, can you first introduce yourself and like your position in your office?
Absolutely. My name is Takeshia Brown. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I serve as the director of the Office of Multicultural Affairs at Georgia Southern University.
Okay. So today we plan on talking about the event that's happening on November 10th. Would you like to explain more about it?
Absolutely. So the event that's taking place on November 10th is called Understanding or Steps Towards Understanding. Police in the community. It's an opportunity for the campus community to engage with various firms, various departments of law enforcement. So we'll have university police officers present, as well as Statesboro PD and Bullitt County police officers, with the goal in mind of trying to understand and bridge a connection between campus community and police officers. We know that in the last few years there have been a variety of public incidences, from George Floyd to Michael Brown, to a variety of things that have kind of strained the relationship between the police officers and communities of color, specifically the African American community. And so our goal is to bring folks together in a space where we can understand the humanization of the process, right? We can see officers as humans, where officers can understand where citizens are coming from and their interactions with officers, with the goal of understanding that at the end of the day, we all want to make it home. We all want to make it home safely. And so how can we do so in a way to where we're seeing each other as parts of the community and not against each other? So that's the goal of that event.
Okay. So what type of like specific topics do y'all plan on like covering or like debunking or anything?
Yeah, so there are a variety of things that are still trying to take place of it, but the goal, the one thing that I'll share is that everyone is approaching this conversation from a point of understanding, right? Which is why we named it. We didn't want to create a space where anyone was going to come in hostile. We know that people are coming in with a lot of assumptions, maybe a lot of emotions, and so we wanted to make sure that we're allowing people to come in and feel those things, but understand this is a conversation.
Right.
We're really trying to understand each other. So we may discuss what may be going through your mind when you get pulled over by a police officer. What's going through that police officer's mind when they pull you over? Why are some of the tactics that police officers use, why are those the things that they do? Why do people respond the way that they do when they see some of those tactics? Maybe even debunking some of the national things that happen. We don't want to solely focus on the hot button topics, even though we know that that's what people want to talk about. We want to focus on the everydayness of policing and the everydayness of community.
So, I'm sorry, I just had a question. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Where's the question? It's off my mind.
Okay. It'll come back.
It will. So how do you think college students are with policing? With everything that's going on in social media, how do you what emotions can you assume people is coming in with, even though it could be a lot?
Yeah. I think there are a variety of emotions. I think hopefully everyone's coming with the purpose of understanding, but there could be a sense of mistrust or distrust with police officers. There could be a lack of understanding about the policies and procedures and kind of how things are. There could be some general fear. I know people, probably myself included, who literally had interactions with the police officers that are jarring, and that makes it challenging to interact with other police officers, right? So there could be some of that to mirror to what's happening. There could also be people who completely respect the police. They think the police are awesome. We value what they do, but they just have concerns about some of the things that they've seen because of social media, because of national commentary, because of a variety of things. So I think we'll be approaching the conversation from the student perspective with a variety of emotions.
Okay. So as the campus is now, how do you think our relationship with the police community is as it is now?
Yeah. I think at our institution, the university police does a great job of trying to make sure that there's a community feel, making sure that they're approaching interactions from the point of educating. I believe our chief of police really values that, trying to make sure that we're educating students, because this is a learning environment, and we want to make sure that people are learning and balancing that with safety. Right? We want to make sure that people are safe. We want to make sure that people are safe going to class, are safe in the residence hall, safe in the library, all of those things. And so I believe that is the mindset from which we operate. I think that sometimes there could be challenges in the community once we get off campus, just because a variety of things, different things. I also think that there's a perception of the city of Statesboro because a lot of people aren't from here.
Yeah.
And so there are perceptions about being in the South, being in a small southern town, and kind of what that may look like. Maybe some things that people experienced in the past that could be far off, that may not necessarily be true now. And I think that impedes the ways in which we show up and interact with police officers. But for the most part, I think that we've been making some great strides with making sure that we're trying to bridge the connection. This conversation that we're having with police officers isn't the first. It's kind of a part of this larger series called Protect the Nest, where we're really just trying to make sure that our students and our law enforcement officers feel this sense of connection in protecting Eagle Nation. And we best do that through conversations and learning.
Okay, so what other topics have y'all talked about in the Protecting Us series?
Yeah, so the first conversation, this is just the second one. The first conversation was slightly different, but it was literally just a space to get to know people, right? Like, let's talk about where you're from. Let's talk about what made you want to be an officer. Let's talk about what made you want to come to Georgia Southern. Let's just get to know each other and then go from there. COVID kind of slowed some things down with our ability to have some things in person. And so this series is a reintroduction to this space since we get to be back in person again.
Right. Wow. I feel like I didn't even hear about the first series that y'all had. The first
blame it on COVID. It was a while ago.
Right. Will y'all ever do like a revisit of that? Like, do you think police should reintroduce themselves to the student campus just so they could know who the police are?
Yeah, I think we all owe it to ourselves to kind of re-engage in this process of getting to know each other because we're occupying the same space, right? That's the reason why we wanted to focus on community and policing, because it's really about community and coming together to manage our space. And we do so better when we're in community and in connection with one another.
Right.
If I know an officer by name because I see them on a regular basis, I'm more inclined to reach out to that person when I have a concern or I see something where I need help on someone else's behalf. And so I think we should regularly engage in conversations and spaces where we can have those connections with police officers and everyday citizens.
Okay. That was like a little taste of what's going to happen. But thank you for doing this interview with me.
Absolutely.
Do you want to just say anything about the event for people to come?
Absolutely. Just a reminder that the event is next Wednesday, November 10th at 5:30 p.m. in Russell Union 2047. Come out with a mindset to understand, to learn, to unlearn, maybe relearn some things, and really truly start to regenerate this notion of community with our police officers in ways that understand that we're all humans and that we all want everybody to be safe.
Right. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.